President Trump has not ruled out boots on the ground in Iran. Are you afraid of a U.S. invasion in your country?
No, we are waiting for them.
You are waiting for the U.S. military to invade the ground troops?
Yes, because we are confident that we can confront them, and that would be a big disaster for them.
Well, the Iranian regime is gasping for air as the joint US-Israeli assault on the nation continues.
So we're in a very strong position now, and their leadership is just rapidly going. Everybody that seems to want to be a leader, they end up dead.
Meanwhile, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt has served CNN anchor Caitlin Collins on a plate after the journalist ranted about the criticism of the Liberal media's coverage of the deaths of 6 US service personnel in the Iranian strikes.
But Hexat was complaining that it was front page news about these 6 service members who were killed.
That's not what the secretary said, Caitlin, and that's not what the secretary meant, and you know it. You know you are being disingenuous. There is not, we've never had a secretary of defense who cares more.
Get through where tragic things happen. It's front page news. I get it. The press only wants to make the president look bad. Yeah, as you know, we cover the deaths of U.S. service members under every president.
The press does only want to make the president look bad. That's a fact. Especially you. No, listen to me. Especially you and especially CNN. And the Secretary of Defense cares deeply about our war fighters and our men and women in uniform. He travels all across this country to meet with them, to connect with them, and your network has hardly ever probably reported on that.
Joining me now is Wrong Speak Publishing founder Adam B. Coleman. Adam, good to see you. Thanks for joining me. What is with the Liberal media's obsession with demonising the president, even during an historic moment in time when a threat to the West has now been taken out?
Yeah, well, I mean, old habits die hard. They can't help themselves but to frame just about anything that he does as being negative. All common sense goes out the window when your only objective is to attack the president. This is not to say that Donald Trump shouldn't have some sort of criticisms about how the war is even started. in the first place. He's the president of the United States, so he's not immune from criticism. But when one particular media outlet, let's say CNN, for example, 99% of the time publishes commentary that is explicitly negative towards the president, they have a bias. In the same way, if I publish 99% of commentary against the Democrats, I guess I have a bias as well, right? But they are unwilling to acknowledge these things. They think that they're arbiters of truth, and they're not.
No, they're certainly not. And in the end, they have to be objective. I mean, that is the role of an impartial news organisation, and none of them ever show any sort of media coverage on this in an objective manner. These are the comments the CNN journalist was referring to by Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. Have a look.
This is what the fake news misses. We've taken control of Iran's airspace and waterways without boots on the ground. We control their fate. But when a few drones get through or tragic things happen, it's front page news. I get it, the press only wants to make the president look bad, but try for once to report the reality. The terms of this war will be set by us at every step.
Oh, I thought they were pretty fair comments. He also said this, have a listen.
The leader of the unit who attempted to assassinate President Trump has been hunted down and killed. Iran tried to kill President Trump, and President Trump got the last laugh. Now, this is not a mission accomplished.
Adam, I thought those comments were strong. They were straight to the point. In the end, he is head of that department, and he has got to be strong in his commentary. But the left go after him. They attack him and the administration. What does it say about the agenda?
Yeah, the agenda is to go after Trump in any sort of way and go after anyone who's attached to Trump in his administration. I mean, what he said was relatively rational. I get if you try to, like what Caitlin Collins was trying to do, take that one little snippet and pretend that he has no moral compass, no feelings about the death of any service member as a service member himself. I think it's a very disingenuous look at things. What he's actually saying is the way that they're engaging minimizes casualty. She's not understanding that perspective. So once again, this is a heavy bias to try to find something wrong with actually a situation that could be far worse with a reckless president who's barely alive and can't even walk downstairs.
Well, spot on, exactly. I'm interested to get your views on the polling. There was one that came out a few days ago. It said 1 in 4 Americans, a majority of course Republicans, say they approve of the US military strikes on Iran. The national survey by Reuters Ipsos indicates about half believe Trump is too willing to use military force. 27% said they approve, 43% disapprove, nearly 30% not sure. Carolyn Levitt says Donald Trump has support. Have a listen.
Does the president believe the country supports the actions that he's taken so far in Iran?
I think he does, and I think the president knows the country is smart enough to read past many of the fake news headlines produced by people in this room that this action was unjustifiable. Again, this is a rogue terrorist regime that has been threatening the United States, our allies, and our people for 47 years.
Adam, I'm interested to get your thoughts. How have the strikes been received over in the US?
You know, it's interesting. It seems to be mixed, and it's not necessarily left or right. You know, I'm in my early 40s. I still remember, you know, if we just go into Iraq, we'll just stop everything. And if we go into Afghanistan, we'll fix everything. And that became what seemingly we would call like forever wars, where just continuous occupation. So a lot of Americans are very war hesitant. Any sort of battle or any sort of military action, we just become very hesitant of moving forward. But what's happening here is different. So I'm generally not pro-war just for the sake of war. I'm pro-diplomacy. But what's happened here is that diplomacy failed. From what I can tell, diplomacy failed when it came to Iran, and they were trying to develop nuclear weapons. And so Donald Trump is the one president, as a lame duck president, he'll be out in a few years and doesn't care. And so he's going to move forward, but he's going to move forward with the intention of not having boots on the ground. And so I think that is the most important part, to minimize human casualties coming from our side.